Today we're going to go over motivation reaction units. And what these are they are small little tiny units of action that every scene has. For every one of your things within the scene, the goal, the conflict, disaster, reaction, dilemma, decision, you have a motivation reaction unit. Okay? And so let's look at what a motivation reaction unit is. Basically what it is it helps you to figure out what you should put first. Because in reality, people see something first or hear something first, some kind of outside stimulus, and then they feel something about that, and somehow their body reacts to it, and then finally they say or do something about it. So this stuff only takes a few seconds of time sometimes, depending on how shocking it is or how fast the movement of your story is. But this is the logical progression of action that a character takes. And many, many writers use this motivation reaction unit, and it helped me to write my first, not only my first novel, but my other two novels as well, and my third one that I'm working on right now. So I'm going to use this to show you how to brainstorm your goal, which is the beginning of the scene. Okay, so we're only focusing on goal right now. So all I'm going to focus on is Sam is looking forward to seeing his dad. None of this other stuff is going to go on this, okay? Because this is just like a paragraph of the story. It's not more than that, it's just the opening paragraph. So first of all, I have to think about, when you're opening up a scene, you have to think about where you're at. So that's one of the things that you need to write down. And in this particular case, this scene is going to be at the beginning of the story. And where it's at is inside Sam's dad's truck. Okay? And he's picking him up from school. Okay. Goal at the beginning of the scene, my character wants to. And so I look back at this, seeing that Sam is looking forward to seeing his dad. So in the beginning of this, my character wants to spend time with his dad, who he hasn't seen in a couple of weeks. Okay, just so that you guys can see that. All right, now first of all, my reader sees, okay? We've got a school pickup driveway or whatever, you know how that goes. School driveway. Kids getting picked up. Sorry. I'm going to try to raise this up a little bit more so you guys can see this a little bit better. Okay. All right, so they're getting picked up by parents. Let's see, what else would they see? They see the truck. Okay, I'm going to make it a Ford F-150. I don't know why, I'm just Dan. I'm going to make it white. You're going to see a lot of those around. Okay, and Dad. Okay, he's about in his 30s. He's got a beard, and he's got let's see, he's got a baseball cap on and swim trunks with a t-shirt. Okay, so what the character instantly feels when he sees his dad, he's excited and happy. Now this is something you'd want to show. This isn't something you'd write a sentence about. These you would write snapshot sentences about. This is something you're going to show, okay? Or you might have a thought or something that he has. Then, so my character reacts by, so this is a physical reaction. And that physical reaction would be whenever someone's excited, what do? They're jittery. They might talk really fast. They might not be able to sit very still sometimes, okay? So I'm going to have him talking really fast. I think my pencil lead is broken. Fast. He's jittery. He's, there it goes. Need to get a different one. Might have to switch to a pen. Nope, got a pencil. Okay. Talking fast, jittery, and he might be, I shouldn't say jittery because that's nervous. He's more like moving around a lot. So moving around. When I'm writing this, I'm going to try to be more specific about the moving around. You know, maybe he's tapping his foot. He's, you know, kind of wiggling around in a seat to settle into a seat, you know, that kind of thing. All right, because he's a little boy. Not real little, but he is a younger boy. So he's moving around a little bit. He's active. Okay, so what my character finally says and does, he buckles a seat. He talks super fast. I already said that. He asks Dad how he's doing, and about all the plans he has and things he has to show his dad. Okay, so he's really super excited to see his dad. All right. And that's the beginning of the scene. Now, all this is a brainstorm. What you're going to do is go back and write sentences about each one of these things. This first one might be 2 or 3 snapshots. Then you have like a thought shot or, you know, some kind of feeling right here. And then down here you have some actions and some dialogue and maybe a few more snapshots. Okay? So that's how this goes. The very next one, after the goal, you have, I just want to show you what happens next with the conflict. The thing that will stop my character is Dad's announcement that they are going whitewater rafting. Okay, so this announcement's going to happen first for me. Then my reader sees a flashback. I'm actually going to give a flashback for the fear thing, so you can see the conflict that's going on inside of Sam's mind. So I'm actually going to write flashback over here. Okay. And so now we don't see the car inside the car anymore. We see where Sam is at this moment in this flashback. Okay, so Sam is in a canoe. Going down a river. Water's moving fast, but not, there's no white water. He sees lots of cypress trees. And the water is dark. Okay, he can't see the bottom. He instantly feels, he falls out of the canoe. Okay, he's got to fall out of the canoe. and goes under. Okay, this is all the things that my reader is going to see happening to Sam as he flashes back. Okay, and then the character instantly feels panic. He reacts by waving his arms, gulping for water, or gulping for air, excuse me. Okay, waving his arms, gulping for air, and he gets water in his mouth, and it's nasty tasting. And he reacts by, he's sinking. He's continuing to wave his arms, and then finally somebody pulls him out of the water. He feels someone pulling him out of the water. Okay, so maybe he even blacks out. Okay, so I wanted to make sure that this conflict is in the story. So we have this whole flashback scene, okay? And he has this flashback. Now what I want to do is, because this is a flashback, I want to give a thought here, which has to do with what my character says or does. Sam doesn't want to go whitewater rafting. Okay, so I have to make that clear to the reader when I come out of the flashback that we find out that Sam doesn't want to go rafting. Okay, now I can imply that, I can infer that. I don't have to just come right out and say Sam didn't want to go rafting after, thinking back about that. I can, through this flashback, I can imply it, okay, as much as possible, and then the reader will figure it out. Okay, by the time, if he's all panicked and everything. Okay, so what I've just done for you is I've shown you two motivation reaction units from goal and conflict. Okay, notice I'm not telling the whole scene here. I'm only giving parts of the scene. I'm only giving little bitty, itty bitty sentences, not sentences, but just brainstorming the senses, thinking about what the character might think about and things like that. Now, why do this? Okay, first of all, if you're just writing from what's coming up in your head, what ends up happening is you tell a lot of story that you don't need, and you end up writing a lot of filler. So when you do it this way, when you have a plan, then you've already done all the thinking about it. You've got a movie going on in your head. It's going. So what you do is now you go back and you're able to write much better. Like you can write much more clear with better, you can think about your word choices, things like that. It actually saves you a lot of time when you write with these MRUs. Instead of just writing the story without thinking about what the characters, because the thing about fiction is you want tension throughout the story. Every moment in your story we need to be able to feel that tension, because if we don't feel it, if your reader doesn't feel it, then they get bored, okay? So to keep the story going, to keep the action moving, and stuff like that, you need to make sure that you are, giving them that. And you do that through lots of snapshots and some thought shots, not too many snapshots, just enough to give the reader a hint of where you're at, and then lots of snapshots, thought shots, and that kind of thing, okay? And the MRU unit is perfect for that. Now, we will be doing an MRU unit, motivation reaction unit, for each of these different things for your scene. And I'll show you tomorrow the disaster and reaction part, so the next two parts. Not tomorrow, but Monday.